Hiya, Squishers, and welcome to episode 5 of Squishmas with me, Kate, under the stairs with all the socks. Yes! And today is day 5 of December. I made it. It's Sunday here in the UK. It is pitch black outside. Like, it's not even 6 o'clock, and it's very, very dark. It has been a nice slow day here in the farm house with all of the squish, and I'm in the middle of squish jobs, which means after I jump out from underneath here, I'm going to go and rinse all of my trays and my pans and pretty much take this off, unless I want it to look like a big shade of brown or whatever colour it all goes when it all just washes away. So I am hopping under the stairs to show you my work in progress, because yesterday we left off where I showed you a sneak peek of just the top of the hat that I started yesterday, with the hope that it was going to turn into something in my mind made a lot of sense, which is a hat with a rib and then another hat and then it's inside out and then reversible. I know you know what I mean. Anyway, I got this far and I stopped for no other good reason other than I was like, wow, this is my next project. Are you ready? I'll show it to you as I saw it. I went like this. Oh my word, this is no longer a hat. This is a sleeve for the jumper I'm going to make in the future, because never did I ever think I'd make a sock weight jumper. No, I would be like, no, that's going to take forever. However, look at this. It is just a sleeve. I almost considered stopping, casting it off, making another one, so I had another sleeve on the other side in the same colour so I could get ready for the jumper bit, but I thought that's kind of like, it's too much. Let's just stick to the plan. So I thought I'd show it to you as it was. This is the 50-gram squish pack that's in the shop called Parma Violets. And I'm going to do, on the other side, which is the reverse side, a totally contrasting colour palette. Like, boom, boom, boom. I want it to be totally different, because the knit on this is a little bit tighter, which means hopefully you won't see the other colours if they're very strong through the back. So I'm going to do a little bit of like testing first to see what it looks like, but I'm thinking something like this, something vibrant, like something with a bit of pink in. I got to talk about this in a second because I found it in a basket, but something with like oranges or blue. Oh yeah, I love it when I leave things under the cupboard. Colors like this, like boom, like all these like sunsetty, crushy, vibey colors, like those on the inside. So when you flip it over, it's totally different. So that's what I got to. So let's get the bauble, because I love that film so much. It's like my favorite, definitely a Christmas classic film I watch every year. I found the bauble under the stairs. No, rewind. I found the bauble in a basket I'd searched in 3 times yesterday and found it today. I'm showing it to you because in the basket I found a number of other things that I couldn't find yesterday, which was still in there today, but just were camouflaged. This was what I was going to pick up and show you yesterday, because after I make this, or maybe as well as making this, because along with finding this, I found another. Do you know when you think you're just knitting one thing and it turns out you never knitted one thing at a time after all anyway, and you had a couple of projects on the go that you just conveniently forgot about? That's kind of what I found in my basket today. So bauble, this is what I was thinking for my Christmas tree. I can knit these alongside the other knits because this is not going to take me very much longer to make. I hope this might be done by tomorrow, if I can get my bum around choosing some colors, because actually I've got a whole basket of colors to choose from. But I'm going to take a step back, because number 2, I found something else in the basket that I was going to show you yesterday. The Scrappy Spiral Hat. This is the kind of colour theme I was thinking of going for. Lots of punchy colours. So this is a very scrappy version of this hat that I have stopped knitting today to knit the other thing, because as much as I want to knit everything at the same time, I only have one pair of hands. And I don't believe there's a technique out there where you just knit one-handed and then one-handed. And if there is, you must let me know down below. Like, seriously, like, what a time saver that would be. Somebody do something about that. So these are the hats I got going on. But this brings me to a nice little stopgap about needles, because I get asked loads of questions about needles. And this is a good chance to stop in and say, needles, what do you use? How do you use them? What are the best ones? What do I use? What do I use for fast knitting? Oh my God. Some of the reasons why this is whipped up so fast is because I've used my metal needles. Now I've got a preference for different needles for different types of projects. So when I'm knitting fast and knit stitch, I generally like to preference metal needles. Like these are, like I have a range of needles. I don't have like every range under the sun. I've chosen a few sets to get. These were some of the first needles I ever got, and these were probably the cheapest set I could ever find on eBay. Super, super cheap. Lip balm. And these worked well for me. So I like everything from like the super cheapest ones, which do a fantastic job. So I've literally learned how to knit on these. Then I discovered circular knitting needles. And because obviously I have, well, like most of you, if you're a knitter, you will probably have times where your hands or wrists or arms or shoulders or neck or back or all of those things just are subtly telling you you need to stop. And then you ignore that and you carry on going because you're just having so much fun. Anyway, when I have times when my hands just do not cooperate, I tried a set of needles like this, which is the cube. Hope things don't fall out. The cubic set of needles. I cannot remember which one. I'll have a look, put it underneath. This is the cubic set of needles I tried, which are really quite useful in terms of being able to hold my needle. Because sometimes in the middle of dyeing yarn and drying yarn or doing yarn stuff, or my hands are really wet and then they shrivel up and then I can't feel them, or they're really cold or really hot, I have to work around like what my hands can do. So those needles work an absolute treat because they let my hands relax a bit. So I've knit this on metal needles. And the other set that I do love, especially for smaller projects like hats, it's really very handy and it does make work a lot faster. I had a set of interchangeables. I tried the Shorty set. I'm pulling this out here. So I'm using this set here with this hat. These are, I think they're 3.5 mil. They don't go down any further than 3.25, I think, or 3.5. So I think for Christmas, I might ask Santa for like a smaller set. That's what I'm looking at. Tinier set. These are interchangeable ones, which is great because you can change the needle size as you're knitting or change the cables. And I've stuck other needles in here. So this is just like what my needle kit looks like at home. This is the Shorty kit by Knit Picks. This is a short interchangeable nickel-plated needle set. And I love these because, again, because I have small hands, when I knit, the faster I knit, I generally tend to have a little bit of like a cramp in my hands, but these sit nicely in the palm of my hand. And for the same reason, I love Denise knit needles in the same length. I love them. The plastic ones I love because sometimes, for the opposite reason why I love my needles to fly through this, I sometimes don't want the yarn to fly off the end of everything else, because sometimes when you're knitting real fast and there's like hundreds of stitches, that is just not an ideal situation. So because I'm kind of like, I get up off the sofa, like most of, if you've got things to get up for, you get up and the needles just go everywhere and you're dragging the yarn and it's pulling it off the stitches and you're realizing you've got a fluffy tail. That's me when I get up. So the Denise knitting needles I find are much better at not letting my needles slip through all the yarn and go, oh, that's just awful. And on that note, I do have something to say about interchangeable connections. I do find the connectors for these, wrong one, the screw ones, this is just notes from myself. It doesn't matter how small or big, I use needles or cables. I don't know whether it's the way I knit, but literally they'll untwist in my hand. So for big blankets, I love a metal needle on circular cables, but I am forever concerned that the wrong move or a little twist of my hand and hundreds of stitches will just spew off the cables. Like, that has happened. And if it's happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. You know, the moment you see it barfing off your cables, you've stopped wondering how many stitches. You're just like, do I have the commitment to pick them all up? That's where you are. So I don't like that. So what I find about the Denise set, which is one of the super hooks for me, these don't do that. They got like a click, and like that's it. Whereas these, they go, oh look out, look, do 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 do. Just gonna go round and round. It doesn't happen. So if you were to ask me, do I have a preference in terms of circular knitting needles, metal needles, plastic needles, short ones, fat ones, skinny ones, long ones? Mostly it depends on what my hands feel like at the time and the project at hand. But I would, if you have tiny hands and you're looking at going into the world of circular needles or interchangeables, the tiny ones are really cool. Also ideal for portable knitting. And if you love hats, this is great. So that's my side thought on knitting needles. So I was going to say about knitting needles, because actually, if you do have small knitting needles of any type, because as I said, I use a variety myself. Look, this is another good example of the needles I knit most of my things on these. They're not interchangeable, they're fixed. I love them. Super. And these were just the super cheap ones I could find because I didn't know anything about what I liked. And that's kind of how you go about finding out what you do and don't like. You try things out, you try this, you try that, and you go, ooh, ooh. So, yeah, that's where I am. And circular knitting needles really help me in terms of like knitting on my most favourite things. And if you like a reversible knit, like I'm working on right now, I've got knits everywhere. They're everywhere. I'll put that down. If you like the idea of a reversible knit, it's Sunday, okay? Of a reversible knit, you can try one of the patterns in the shop that's there already. Like, if you like the Spotty, bauble, you might like a Spotty cowl. You could make a festive Spotty cowl. I do like this so much. Like this, I've made bags from this. I'm not going to look around because I know it's not in here. It's in the kitchen. I'll bring that next time. This is a double-sided Spotty cowl. This is a free pattern in the shop. And also, if you just want a straight up tube knit, get I think it's double-sided Scrappy tube cowl. And this one I've knit with an extra bit of, maybe about 20 grams extra of the solid colour on the other side, so that when you're wearing it, you can either wear it this way or the other way, where it's just scrappy galore. And this might be a great option for like advent knits. And if you've got like a spare skein of squish, you can just do the spare skein of squish on the inside and all your advent squish on the outside. So there you go, squishes. This is my Sunday update. I can't believe we've done day 5. I am going to go and take off this jumper and put something a little bit less glamorous on to wash all the trays and pans out and get ready for Monday work, because it is Monday tomorrow. I can't believe how fast the days are going round. Oh. And ponder and make a decision on the other side of this. So there you go. So squishers, I shall see you tomorrow. And if you haven't had a chance to craft this weekend, because not every weekend is the same for everyone. Like sometimes I don't even have time to knit a stitch on a weekend. So it's quite nice that this weekend I'm having a bit of a slow morning, which I did today, just to get that knit time in. Ooh, yeah. And then tomorrow, squish all the way. So squishers, if you're not crafting, think about it. Because when you get that time, you'll spend less time faffing. You'll just get straight to it, for real. You'll be less of a time waster. You'll just know. So I'll practice what I preach and think about those colours and just do it, okay? And I'll show you what I've got tomorrow. So until then, squishers, I shall see you tomorrow. Bye!